What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Mika Chanel, back with another edition of Mika Chanel It's Just Saying. Alright, tonight I am talking about Hollywood Divas Reunion, Hollywood Divas Season 1, Reunion Part 1. So, I did watch this show, but I can't really say I followed it that closely. I DVR'd it, so I did watch each episode, but honestly, some of the episodes, I think it was just playing on my TV because I was not paying attention to what was going on the episode or whatever. So it just was really boring to me. And it wasn't even like, they were just boring. Even the drama that they had was just like, really? Okay. And I don't know what I was expecting. I had high hopes for this show. I don't know what I was expecting. I was a fan of pretty much all of the ladies. I was a fan of like all of the ladies that are on the show. So I don't know. I just thought that they would be a little more entertaining, a little more funny, or they didn't show a lot of their like personal lives. So maybe that was it. Maybe because it was just so focused on the play or whatever that they were supposed to be doing together. And I just didn't feel like I got. I don't know, maybe they are. Maybe, I don't know. I just don't feel like I got their full personalities, is what I'm saying. Or maybe they're just really dry. and that was their full, their real personalities. I mean, of course, Lisa, I liked her. But even on this show, I don't know. The whole show was just really slow and I just wasn't into it. Anyways, now that I went off on my little rant, I will start my review of the first reunion show. And actually, I didn't even realize that the season was gone off. I didn't even realize that there was a reunion show until today. I was flipping through my DVR. And I was like, Hollywood Divas? Like, I don't even know. I haven't even been paying attention to Hollywood Divas on my DVR. So I looked and I'm like, oh my God, it's 2 reunion shows. So right now I'm going to do the first one because I just watched it. And then I'm going to go ahead and watch the second one. And then I'll do another video on the second one. So the first one, they start out, the one of the producers, not Ty, but the other guy, what's his name? Andre, I think. He open the show, he introduces all the ladies, they all come out and sit down or whatever. They get right into the shade, just right off the bat with like Lisa and Golden. But first of all, I gotta say this. So he asked Countess, he was, commenting on how all the ladies looked in their, their outfits or whatever. So he asked Countess, he's like, oh, you looking good, girl. She was like, so how much, weight did you lose with the lipo? And she was like, oh, about 5 to 10 pounds. 5 to 10 pounds, girl. You went through all that for 5 to 10 pounds? I mean, damn. Just because, what are you eating? I mean, seriously, like, the doctor had to have sucked more than 10 pounds out of you. So how are you, you already lose that much? I mean, did you gain it back? Are you eating? I mean, just because you get lipo don't mean you don't have to exercise and eat right. You know what I'm saying? Like, and why would you go through all that for 5 to 10 pounds? You could have jogged around the block for a couple of weeks and lost 5 to 10 pounds. You know what I'm saying? I didn't understand why she was getting the lipo to begin with, because one, she's on the show. They had this play that they were shooting this movie or whatever they were shooting. So she has the surgery like right before they go into production. And then you didn't even look any. You don't look any different than you did before you did the lipo, girl. Like, what was that about? I mean, I'm a fan of Countess Mom, but I just didn't understand it. I just really didn't. But I mean, maybe she wanted that to be her storyline for the season or whatever. Anyway, so yeah, like I said, they go right into the shade. He asked Golden Brooks, what is your thing about, reality stars and things like that? And she was just saying basically, she feels like the reality stars get the parts because their name is out there, they're famous on social media and, blase this and blase that. So Lisa Wu jumps in and she's like, look, you are on a reality show right now. Are you not on a reality show right now? And Golden is like, well, it's a show about acting. Paula brought us together to talk about our craft and to do this show together or whatever. And Lisa Ru was like, yeah, okay, girl, whatever makes you helps you sleep at night. But let me tell you this, while you want to run around talking about the Real Housewives of Atlanta, we were the trailblazers, okay? We paved the way and we set the stage for your ass to be sitting on this stage right now. How you like that, Golden? I love that little read by Lisa. You can't try and read no Housewife, girl. Are you crazy? Housewives, they wrote the book on how to read somebody and how to throw the most shade. So I just wasn't feeling Golden. I was a fan of hers. Like, I seen her of course, on Girlfriends. Of course, I watched all the seasons of Girlfriends. And I think she was in like 12 Motives or like one of those like old crazy movies that people used to be into back in the day. I used to be into those movies as well. But, I was a fan of hers, but I just didn't realize she had that whole funky attitude. I just was not feeling her attitude at all. She's so insecure. And she thinks that, I don't know, like, it's clearly low self-esteem, but she passes it off and it comes across as being a mean girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're in high school. That's kind of what I got from her this season. With her talking about Countess, like telling her, not really talking about her, but like telling her, I'm taking charge of your life. I'm taking charge of all of this. And you don't need to be eating this and you don't need to be eating that. The Countess didn't ask you for your advice or your help. She didn't ask you to take charge of her life. You know what I mean? I just really wasn't feeling Golden this season. And it kind of just made me not be a fan of hers anymore. Just seeing her on the show. Anyway, so they start talking to Paula about, what's going on in her life right now. And if she regrets anything and things like that. And she's like, she's very thankful for the show. She's thankful for everything because now she's got a house. Her son is in a new school district. He's doing well in school. Like, you know what I mean? Things are starting to come, offers are coming in, because he had asked all the ladies, like, well, let me ask you this, since you've been on this show, have you started getting any parts or people calling you back? And even Golden Brooks had to admit that she's been being, people are ringing her phone, calling her phone. She's been in commercials and dude was like, well, like right after the show first aired, didn't you get a call to be in a commercial? You know what I'm saying? Like, so don't try and trip on reality TV, okay? Your ass is on reality TV, and if it's a season 2, you gonna come back for season 2, okay? Anyways, so yeah, back to Paula. So she was just basically saying, like, she's just grateful for everything on the show. And so he asked her, like, so tell me the truth, Paula J. Parker. Did you get blackballed because you married Forrest? Or did you get blackballed because you were cheating with Forrest? And the guy you were dating, I don't know if he was like a producer or something on the movie Hustle and Flow. Like, they keep saying this. I guess they're not supposed to say Hustle and Flow on the show or something because they never say it. But that's the movie. Well, I think they may have said it in the beginning. But anyways, that's the movie that they're talking about, Hustle and Flow. So he's like, because what I had heard was, saying you was cheating with Forrest and y'all was running around the set all lovey-dovey and you had a man and he was like, some big shot person on the movie and he made some calls and you didn't work anymore. And that's what hurt people do. They hurt other people, and especially like you get a relationship with somebody and you cheating on them. You know what I'm saying? You just never know what's gonna happen. Like, girl, you shouldn't even have went there. And even what's her name, Elise Neal, was saying, like, I had went up to her because Elise was in the movie as well. It's like I had told her, like, you need to calm that down. I know you in love or you in whatever is going on, but you need to calm that down. So anyway, so Paula was saying that, well, it can't be cheating if the other person starts it. So basically, she's admitting that she was cheating with Forrest while they were on the set, and that's why she had all those problems that she had. I mean, it's sad that she got, shunned in Hollywood because of something personal like that. But at the same time, she knew better. I mean, you can't be all like that and expect it. But hey, it worked out for her because her and Forrest are still married. They have a beautiful son and they seem to be happy together. So I guess it worked out for her. So then he was asking her, like, well, how did you go from being like, you know, one of the, you know, what am I talking about? How did you go from being such a popular actress in the 90s to living in a hotel and being broke? And she was just basically, look, you know what, let me go back. First of all, if you're living in a hotel, how much does it cost to live in a hotel? I mean, you gotta be paying like $2 a week at least, right? I mean, $200-$300 a week. So you couldn't take that money and get you a studio apartment or a 1-bedroom or something just so you can have a stove that you could cook your son a meal on or whatever. I don't know. Anyways, that was just like my thing. I didn't understand like why she was living in that dang hotel when if they had money to pay for a hotel, they had money to go rent an apartment some dang where. You know what I'm saying? And that hotel wasn't even a nice one. So anyway, so he asked her like, how did she go from being like a popular 90s actress to being broke living in a hotel? And she was basically just saying like, you know, I was in a lot of movies, but they were low budget movies and I wasn't getting paid a lot. She was like, I wasn't fortunate enough to be on like, you know, a long running series like Girlfriends, and I wasn't fortunate like Countess to have been on multiple hit TV shows. You know what I'm saying? She was like, you know, I was constantly in movies, but I was not making a lot of money, which was probably true. But she probably had some money management issues too, and the fact that her husband wasn't working. I mean, I'm sure that all played into it too. But at the same time, you know, everybody has money issues. You know, people go through things. You know, they come out of it. But why were you paying all that money to stay in a hotel when you could have been paying that money and some rent in a real apartment? That's what I just don't get. Anyway, so then they move on to Lisa, and I guess I never heard this rumor. I don't really, like, I watch reality shows and things like that, but I used to keep up with, like, the blogs and things like that, but honestly, I just really don't have time anymore to keep up with that stuff. But I guess it was, like, some rumor that Lisa Wu lost her kids, you know, her older kids that she has by Keith Sweat. I guess it was, like, a rumor saying she was on drugs and that's why she lost her kids or whatever. But she was saying that, excuse me, she was saying that that was not true. She was never on drugs. If she was on drugs, she would admit that she was on drugs, that she had been on drugs or whatever. She's like, she has custody of her kids now. She was saying basically what it was that he had more money than she did at the time, and he was able to pay lawyers and things like that, and she was not able to compete. But she says she does have her kids now. And she just, people don't see that. She's saying, basically people don't see that. They only want to think about the negative stuff. They don't want to think about, what's going on now and the fact that she does have her kids with her now. And then she also has a son by her, the guy she was married to when she was on, The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Ed Hartwell. So I think she has 3 boys. But the 2 older ones are by Keith Sweat. I believe she was married to him for a little while. Anyways, so then she goes back and forth with Golden Brooks and Elise Neal about them Googling her. And Elise is like, well, you know what I'm saying? I can't control what Google pulls up. I just put your name in there. And because it was so much going on with you in your personal life or whatever, that's what came up first. I was just trying to see what your, credentials were or whatever. And then, like, she went in on Golden too. But I think I remember on the show, Golden was, like, as they were reading some of the stuff, Elise was reading some of the stuff on her phone, like, she had Googled her or whatever. I feel like I remember Golden like walking away and saying like, I don't like this, I don't want to do this, this isn't cool. I do feel like I remember that. So I don't know. I think Golden was salty with Lisa, with the fact that Lisa Wu was on the show with them, but I don't think she was really into that whole Googling her and trying to pull up dirt on her or whatever. I don't think that she was a part of that. that was really it on the Lisa Wu little segment, because what he did was like he broke it down and he started, you know, with Countess, then he went to Lisa Wu, and now he's on Golden. So he was basically asking, you know, just talking to her, and she gonna say she's never seen a reality show before. Girl, please. Who you think you fooling? Okay, reality TV been around so long now. You done watched at least one episode of The Housewives. You done probably watched a few episodes of Mob Wives. Okay, like, girl, please, you are not fooling anybody, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm sure she's watched some kind of reality shows. Maybe she doesn't watch them on a regular basis, and maybe she doesn't watch them now, but she has watched reality TV. I'm like, girl, who in the world are you fooling? She was just basically saying that what she was hoping to get out of being on this show was just kind of like to represent the average everyday woman. She's a single mother. She's got, you know, her insecurities. She talked about, you know, her midsection, and she was, you know, a little insecure about, you know, getting her stomach back in order. But I guess her biggest insecurity is her skin color. And though she says she's proud of her skin color, she basically, I guess her mother's family is very light skinned, and her mother is more light skinned, and I guess that affected her growing up, because her mom would be like, oh, but you're my favorite little chocolate chip, or, you know, you're my brand new penny, or whatever. And I mean, though maybe her mom thought that was you know, making her feel good, but, you know, it probably added to her insecurities or whatever. And she was just basically saying, like, you know, her mom's her hero, and she doesn't look anything like her mom. And just basically saying she just didn't feel beautiful as a child. And she's like, now she does feel beautiful, but she still struggles with the issues of being a brown-skinned girl coming from a family of, you know, of lighter-skinned people. And she's saying that, like, her daughter is, you know, her color. Her daughter is brown-skinned, and she wanted her daughter to be brown-skinned. So it kind of sounds like, I don't know who her daughter's father is, but it kind of sounds like she sought out a darker-skinned man because she wanted to have a darker-skinned daughter, is what it kind of sounds like. And then she kind of broke down a little bit because she said her daughter asked her, like, well, mommy, why don't you look anything like grandma or whatever? And that made, I guess that kind of hurt her feelings or whatever, which I can see it happening. I never had those issues myself. I mean, pretty much everybody in my family is the same color. So I mean, but I do know other people that have had like some skin color issues or whatever, and I mean, it happens every day. And I mean, it happens in our community, in the black community, where, you know, it's the light is right, if you black, stay back. Remember that saying? That was just crazy. But I mean, it's very, very, very sad that kids have to feel bad about something. One, they can't change. And two, it doesn't matter what shade of brown you are. It's all beautiful. You know what I mean? So, it's just really sad. Anyways, that was basically her. So that kind of explains, I guess, a little bit about her attitude. Why she is the way she is. Because she's she just comes off as just this mean girl. And usually mean girls are the most insecure girls. So it just gives you a little more insight into her bitchiness, basically. Anyway, so they move on to Elise Neal, and like, I guess Elise Neal is like a little hip hop, what do they call her? Oh my goodness, I can't even remember what he said about Elise Neal, but apparently she likes gangster rappers because she was engaged to F. Gary Gray, which I know he's not a rapper, but he's directed a bunch of videos for rappers. She also dated 50 Cent and Rick Ross. Rick Ross? Now, I honestly can't see her dating either one of the guys that I just named. But I sure can't see her with Rick Ross because she's so, like, petite and little, you know, and he's like, you know, Rick Ross, you know, and she was dating him, you know, before he lost a little bit of weight. You know, she was dating the original Rick Ross. But she said she was in love with Rick Ross. Like he was her number one. You know what I'm saying? And she said she just felt like she didn't know how to nurture a man at that time because she was so focused on her career. But it kind of sounded like she had a little bit of regret, you know what I mean? And then he asked her about who was she married, shag, or killed. And she said she was shag Rick Ross. And I'm like, again, I'm baffled because I'm like, really, Rick Ross? You gonna shag Rick Ross over 50 Cent? Now, quiet as it's kept. Alright, well, it's not gonna be quiet anymore for whoever watched this vlog. But yes, 50 Cent is like my what do you call it? Guilty crush, guilty pleasure. I don't know what you call it, but yes, 50 Cent is that for me. So I'm like, really? You gonna I can't believe I just said that. Anyways. I don't know if I ever told anybody that before. But yeah, so I guess Rick Ross was her everything, her boo thing, her number one, and she sounded like she may have wanted him back. Anyway, so that was really all that she talked about. But they did say that they felt some kind of way about her because she didn't really open up about her personal life on the show the way that the other women did. You know, they talked about different things or whatever, and she didn't really open up as much, but I mean, she's an actress, so she's not used to, I guess, you know, having to tell her story. She's used to telling, you know, the director's story or the writer's story or, you know, whoever wrote the script. So you can't really hold that against her. Maybe if there's another season, she may open up a little bit more or whatever. There was definitely a lot of attitude from her this season. Like, she thought she was, I guess, the star of the cast or whatever. I don't know, but she was like, I'm a triple threat, baby. I sing, I act, and I dance. I got this body. There is nothing jiggling on this body. I work hard to keep this body up, you know, which is okay. You know, that part was okay. But she had a little air about her as if she was a little better than, you know, the other ladies a little bit. So that's kind of what I got from her. Her and Golden really kind of surprised me with their personalities. Let me say that on this show. Anyways, so then you see Paula and Golden talking about this dang 10-year beef. Actually, I think the beef is only on Paula's end because Golden is like, I don't even know what you're talking about, girl. It's like, if you remember something from 10 years ago, something is wrong with you. Okay, something about, I guess, Golden and a couple of her friends, they were at a Tom Cruise party or something like that. And I guess Golden and a few of her friends supposedly threw a drink on Paula in the middle of the party. I'm like, really? Somebody threw a drink on you in the middle of the party? And what did you do? Like, it just kind of seems weird. You know what I mean? And she changed her story a few times on the show. I mean, really, they threw drinks on you, girl. They ain't throwing a drink on you. Because if they would have thrown a drink on you, your ghetto ass would have got up because you look like you be ready to beat somebody down, especially over your man. The way you was acting with them over your husband, girl, if a group of girls threw their drinks on you, it wouldn't have been any, I'm just going to walk away and nobody even knows why I'm mad at them. I just don't believe that at all. I don't believe it. Maybe somebody tripped and accidentally spilled a little bit on her, or maybe somebody bumped into her and they got a little bit on her or something like that. But I just don't believe that somebody just came by and was like, or just threw it like that, you know. But she tried to make it seem like they were pretending like they were tripping and then they just threw it, like whatever. I don't know. The whole story sounds crazy. So then she pulls her husband into it and was like, you know, Forrest was there, asked him what happened. So he stands up and he starts talking about what happened, and then Golden interrupts him. And then, don't you know, this fool gonna say, when you see a man talking, why don't you learn to shut up sometimes? No, you did not. Who are you to tell her to shut up? And just because you're a man, she gotta shut up. You're telling the story about her. You and your wife are like, you know, going, you know, kind of double teaming her, telling this weird ass story that nobody believes. And then you're going to tell her to shut up because you're a man and you're talking. I did not like that part. I did not like that part at all. It just kind of seemed like he was overcompensating. He was kind of overcompensating throughout the whole show. Probably because his wife opened up the show talking about she got blackballed because she married his broke ass. So, I mean, maybe that's why he was mad. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But that was just crazy. And Golden was like, I am not your wife. You do not talk to me like that. Just because you trying to prove something because she emasculates you at home, don't try to come here and talk to me crazy, okay? I am not the one, okay? Basically, she was upset. And rightfully so. She should have been upset. I would have been upset too, you know? And even the host, what's his name? Andre? I don't know what his name is. Anyways, he's one of the producers of the show, but he also is hosting the reunion. And Todd's also like kind of hosting it. He's doing more audience questions. I guess we'll see more of him doing the audience questions in the next the part 2 of the reunion. But anyways, yeah, so Forrest is just like, he's tripping, you know, and Golden was very upset, and she should have been very upset. So that's kind of where they ended it. And as you know, they were closing out the show, you see Golden, she just gets up and walks off. She's just upset. And not only is, oh, excuse me, I don't know why I'm burping so much. Anyways, not only is there a lie being told on her, she just had a man tell her to shut up. Like, really? I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. And Paula hopefully checked him after that, okay? That's what she needed to do. Anyway, so that's it. That was really it about Hollywood Divas episode, season 1, reunion episode, part 1. So, yeah, like I said, I'm going to watch the second part and come back, hopefully. Actually, you know what? This first part of the reunion was more entertaining than the entire season. You want to know the truth. It really was. So, you know, and then I guess on the next part 2, I guess, Forrest and her, Paula's husband Forrest and Paula's mother, I guess, are going to come up on stage and discuss everything with that, because you know how he, during the show, like, you know, the mom doesn't like him. Basically because he's been married to her daughter all these years and he can't provide for her. He doesn't have a job. He hasn't had a job in years. They have this son, and like, he's not doing what he needs to do as the man of the house, basically. So, you know, they have a little beef going on, and he didn't call her a bitch, but what he said was, I'm going to treat you like a bitch on the street, which to me is calling her a bitch, okay? Paula didn't take it that way. I took it that way, and I was very offended. I mean, her mother was very, very out of pocket with, you know, the things that she was saying to him. But at the same time, you don't say something like that to your mother-in-law. There's other ways to express how you feel rather than calling your mother-in-law a bitch on the street or telling her you're going to treat her like a bitch on the street. You just don't do it. You just don't do it. You just don't do it. So, we'll see what happens with that in the next one. Like I said, I'll be back. So, yeah, that's it. Whoop, that's it. So, like I said, I'll be back. But until I'm back, stay real, stay safe, and stay tuned to Mika Chanel Is Just Saying. Bye-bye.